The blindfold slipped from Zara's eyes. Park Jae-won stood inches from her face. Before either could process what was happening, the coordinator's cheerful voice echoed across the courtyard. Now, partners will exchange the ceremonial kiss. The crowd erupted in cheers. Jae-won's eyes locked with hers, dark, intense, unreadable. For a moment, the world held its breath. And then their lips met. It was supposed to be brief, symbolic, meaningless. But the moment their lips touched, something shifted. The air crackled with electricity. The kiss deepened for just a heartbeat longer than tradition required. When they pulled apart, Zara's heart was racing, her cheeks burning. Jae-won stared at her, his expression a mixture of shock and something else entirely. Something that looked almost like wonder. And then he turned and walked away without a word. The crowd erupted in whispers. Cameras flashed. And Zara stood frozen, her first kiss stolen by the one boy who was completely, utterly untouchable. But what happened next would turn her entire world upside down. If you're already hooked, hit that subscribe button and let me know which country you're watching from, because this story is about to get wild. 3 weeks earlier, Zara's scholarship letter had promised opportunity. It hadn't mentioned the loneliness. Walking through Hanseong Academy's iron gates that first morning felt like entering a different universe. Everything gleamed, the marble pathways, the designer uniforms, even the students themselves seemed to shine with privilege Zara couldn't comprehend. Is that the scholarship girl? The whispers followed her like shadows. From Ghana? I heard she's some kind of genius. Still, does she really belong here? Each word carved itself into her chest. Zara kept her head high, but inside, she was crumbling. This was her dream, the most prestigious academy in Korea, a full scholarship for her robotics achievements. But dreams, she was learning, sometimes felt a lot like nightmares. She just didn't know how much worse, and better, it was about to get. The cafeteria was her first real test. Zara stood with her tray, scanning for a place to sit. Every table she approached fell silent. Eyes slid away. Bags appeared on empty chairs. The message was crystal clear, you're not welcome. She finally sat alone by the window, choking down food that tasted like ash. That's when she saw him for the first time. Park Jae-won. He sat at the center table, surrounded by the school's elite. Tall, with sharp features and an easy confidence that came from never having to prove himself. His laugh carried across the cafeteria, warm and genuine, and something in Zara's chest twisted painfully. He looked so comfortable. So effortlessly accepted. Everything she wasn't. Their eyes met for just a second. He looked away first, turning back to his friends. And Zara felt the rejection like a physical blow. Don't take it personally. Zara jumped. A girl with thick-framed glasses had appeared beside her, Min-ji, from her robotics class. He doesn't talk to scholarship students. Family rule or something. The park's only associate with, well, other parks. I wasn't expecting him to talk to me, Zara lied. Min-ji gave her a knowing look. Sure. And I'm not eating alone because everyone here is terrified of anyone who doesn't fit their perfect mold. Despite everything, Zara smiled. Outsiders? The outcasts, Min-ji corrected. But that's fine. Outcasts see things the insiders miss. Zara had no idea how prophetic those words would become. If you're already hooked, hit that like button, this is just the beginning. The next 2 weeks were brutal. Zara threw herself into her work, scoring top grades in every class. But each achievement only seemed to make the whispers worse. She's probably cheating. Teachers are being too easy on her. She thinks she's better than us. The only bright spot was Min-ji, who became her constant companion. And robotics lab, where Zara could lose herself in circuits and code and forget, just for a moment, how alone she felt. Until the day Jae-won walked into the lab. Zara looked up from her project, heart suddenly racing. He stood in the doorway, looking uncertain, an expression she'd never seen on his face before. "Is this the advanced robotics lab?" he asked. "Obviously," Minji answered, not looking up from her soldering. "The giant robots kind of give it away." Jae-won's lips twitched. Almost a smile. "I'm supposed to be here. Schedule change." He walked to the workstation directly across from Zara's. For the next hour, Zara tried to focus on her project. Failed miserably. She was hyper-aware of every movement he made, every breath he took. Twice, she looked up to find him already watching her. Both times, he looked away quickly. The tension was suffocating. Finally, his robot arm malfunctioned, sparking dangerously. Without thinking, Zara jumped up and grabbed his hand, pulling it away from the live current. Their hands touched. Electricity sparked, and not from the robot. "You have to disconnect the power first," Zara said breathlessly, very aware that she was still holding his hand. Jae-won stared down at their joined hands, then up at her face. Up close, his eyes were even more intense. "You just saved me from electrocution. It wouldn't have killed you. Just hurt a lot. Still. Thank you." He didn't let go of her hand. "I'm Jae-won. I know who you are. Everyone knows who you are. And you're Zara. The robotics genius from Ghana who's making everyone in this school feel inadequate." She pulled her hand away, heart pounding. "Is that what they're saying?" "Among other things." His expression was unreadable. "For what it's worth, I think it's impressive. What you've accomplished." Before Zara could respond, his friends appeared in the doorway. Their expressions shifted from curiosity to disapproval the moment they saw Jae-won talking to her. "Jae-won. We're going to be late for practice." Just like that, the moment shattered. Jae-won stood, gave her one last unreadable look, and walked away. But Zara's hand still tingled where he'd touched her. The Autumn Moon Festival announcement came the next week. Minji was insistent. "You have to come. It's the one night when everyone lets their guard down. When the social rules don't apply." "I don't believe that for a second." "Trust me," Minji urged. "It'll be magical. There's this tradition, Destiny's Meeting. A blindfolded game where fate chooses your partner. People say if you kiss during the festival, you're bound by destiny." Zara should have said no. Should have stayed in her room. Should have protected her heart. But she went anyway. Subscribe now, you won't believe what happens next. The festival transformed the courtyard into a dreamscape. Paper lanterns glowed like captured stars, traditional music filled the air, and for once, students weren't whispering about her. They were too busy enjoying themselves. Minji had lent Zara a hanbok, deep purple silk that made her feel almost beautiful. Almost like she belonged. "Destiny's Meeting is starting," the coordinator announced. Before Zara could escape, silk was being tied over her eyes. The world went dark. Music swelled. Hands guided her forward, spinning her until she was dizzy and disoriented. And then the music stopped. "Remove your blindfolds." Zara's hands trembled as she untied the silk. The fabric fell away. And there he was. Park Jae-won, standing so close she could feel his breath. His eyes were wide with shock that mirrored her own. Around them, the courtyard had gone completely silent. "Now, partners will exchange the ceremonial kiss," the coordinator called out. Jae-won's eyes searched hers. In them, Zara saw conflict, duty versus desire, rules versus something she was afraid to name. "We don't have to," she started to whisper. But he was already leaning in. Their lips met. Soft, tentative, questioning. What started as tradition became something else entirely. The kiss deepened, just for a moment. His hand came up to cup her cheek, and Zara felt herself melting into him. It was perfect. It was terrifying. It was everything. When they pulled apart, Jae-won stared at her with wonder in his eyes. His thumb brushed across her cheek. Zara, he breathed. And then reality crashed back in. The crowd was staring. Phones were raised. Someone was already filming. And Jae-won's friends were pushing through the crowd, their faces twisted with shock and disapproval. Jae-won's expression shuddered. The warmth in his eyes vanished, replaced by something cold and distant. Without a word, he turned and walked away, leaving Zara standing alone in the center of the courtyard, her first kiss still burning on her lips, and her heart already breaking. The whispers started immediately. Did that just happen? Park Jae-won kissed the scholarship girl? His mother is going to lose her mind. Min-ji appeared at her side, gripping her arm. Zara. We need to go. Now. But it was already too late. The damage was done. By morning, the video had gone viral. The kiss, captured from multiple angles, had been edited, slowed down, analyzed frame by frame. The comments were vicious. She probably planned this. Gold digger trying to trap him. How dare she touch him? She doesn't belong in his world. But worse than the hate were the other comments. The ones that said what Zara had seen in Jae-won's eyes during that kiss. Did you see the way he looked at her? That wasn't just tradition. That was real. Park Jae-won has feelings for the scholarship girl. And that, apparently, was unforgivable. Monday morning, Zara walked through campus with her head down. The stairs were different now, not just cold, but hostile. Someone had spray-painted her locker. The words made her stomach turn. She was scrubbing at the paint when she heard his voice. Zara. She turned. Jae-won stood behind her, flanked by his friends. His expression was carefully blank. Her heart leaped despite everything. Jae-won, about the festival. That kiss was a mistake, he said loudly, clearly. Loud enough for everyone in the hallway to hear. It meant nothing. It was just tradition. I was following the rules of the game. Each word was a knife to her chest. But I need you to understand something. His voice was cold now, a stranger's voice. We're from different worlds. That kiss doesn't change that. It can't change that. Tears burned behind Zara's eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Not here. Not in front of everyone. I understand perfectly, she said, voice shaking. I was never confused about where I stand. She turned back to her locker, scrubbing harder at the paint. After a moment, she heard his footsteps walking away. Only Min-ji, standing nearby, saw the look on Jae-won's face as he left. And it wasn't relief or indifference. It was agony. That afternoon, Zara was called to the principal's office. Mrs. Park was there. Jae-won's mother, in a designer suit that cost more than Zara's entire scholarship, looked at her with ice-cold eyes. Miss Mensah. Let me be direct. That stunt at the festival was unacceptable. It wasn't a stunt. It was random. Nothing is random when you're a girl with nothing trying to get close to my son. Mrs. Park's smile was sharp as glass. I've seen it before. Scholarship students who think proximity to wealth can change their circumstances. I never wanted. I don't care what you wanted. I care about protecting my son from complications. Mrs. Park stood. Stay away from Jae-won. If I see you near him again, your scholarship will be revoked. Am I clear? Principal Kim wouldn't meet Zara's eyes. Crystal, Zara whispered. Comment below if you're feeling this. Should Zara fight for him or walk away? The next week was torture. Zara saw Jae-won every day, in the hallways, in robotics lab, across the cafeteria. Every time their eyes met, something passed between them. Something electric and painful and impossible. But he never spoke to her. Never acknowledged her. Followed his mother's rules like they were law. Until he couldn't anymore. It was late Friday evening. Zara was alone in the robotics lab, working on her project for the international championships. She was so focused she didn't hear the door open. You're here late. She spun around. Jae-won stood in the doorway, looking almost afraid. I could say the same about you, she said coldly. Shouldn't you be avoiding me? I tried. He stepped into the lab, closing the door behind him. I've been trying all week. It's not working. What do you want, Jae-won? To explain. To apologize. He moved closer. What I said in the hallway. You made yourself very clear. I was lying. The words burst out of him. Everything I said was a lie. That kiss wasn't a mistake. It wasn't just tradition. And it meant everything. Zara's breath caught. Then why? Because my mother threatened to destroy you. Your scholarship, your future, everything. If I stayed away, she promised to leave you alone. His hands clenched into fists. I thought I was protecting you. By breaking my heart? I know. He was close now, close enough to touch. I know it was wrong. But Zara, I can't stop thinking about you. That kiss. The way you looked at me. I'm going crazy. Your mother said. I don't care what she said. His voice was fierce now. I don't care about her rules or this school's rules or what anyone thinks. I care about you. Their eyes locked. The air between them crackled with tension. Jae-won, we're from different worlds. So what? Maybe it's time to change the world. He reached out, his hand hovering near her cheek. Tell me you felt it too. That kiss. Tell me I'm not crazy. Zara's heart was racing so fast she thought it might burst. You're not crazy. Then give me another chance. Let me do this right. Let me. The lab door burst open. Minji stood there, eyes wide. Zara. You need to see this. Right now. She held out her phone. On the screen was a news article. Park Jae-won defies family, requests scholarship review board investigation into Hanseong Academy's treatment of international students. Zara looked up at Jae-won in shock. You did this? This morning. I filed a formal complaint about how you've been treated. The harassment, the discrimination, all of it. His jaw was set with determination. My mother thinks her money can control everything. She's wrong. She'll destroy you. Let her try. He took her hand, finally, properly. I'm done pretending. I'm done following rules that are designed to keep people apart. And I'm done staying away from you. Jae-won. I know it's fast. I know we barely know each other. But that kiss. He brought her hand to his lips. That kiss felt like coming home. And I don't care if that's crazy or impossible or against every rule in the book. I want to know where this goes. Zara's walls were crumbling. Your mother will learn to deal with it. Or she won't. Either way, I'm making my own choices now. His eyes searched hers desperately. So what do you say? Will you give us a chance? Will you let me prove that some things are worth fighting for? Around them, the world seemed to hold its breath. Zara thought about the girl who'd walked through those gates weeks ago, alone, scared, certain she'd never belong. She thought about loneliness and whispers and rules designed to keep her small. And then she thought about the kiss. About electricity and wonder and possibility. She squeezed his hand. One chance. But if you break my heart again. I won't. I swear I won't. He pulled her close, wrapping his arms around her. Thank you. Thank you for being brave enough to give me this. Minji cleared her throat. This is very romantic and all, but you two should know, the whole school is probably going to lose their minds tomorrow. Jae-won smiled against Zara's hair. Good. Let them. The next morning, Jae-won walked into school holding Zara's hand. The courtyard went silent. Every eye turned to stare. Phones lifted. Whispers erupted like wildfire. And Jae-won just kept walking, his hand firmly clasped around hers, his head high. When they reached her locker, still marked with fading spray paint, he stopped. "Everyone thinks they know the rules," he said loudly, clearly. "They think wealth and status and family name are what matter. They're wrong." He turned to Zara, his eyes soft. "What matters is finding someone who makes you want to be better. Someone who saves you from yourself. Someone brave enough to stand alone until you're brave enough to stand with them." He leaned down and kissed her. Right there. In front of everyone. This kiss was different from the festival. This one was a declaration. A promise. A revolution. When they pulled apart, Zara was breathless. "You're insane." "About you?" "Absolutely." Around them, reactions were mixed. Some students looked angry. Some shocked. But some, like Minji, grinning from ear to ear, looked hopeful. Like maybe, just maybe, the rules could change. Principal Kim approached them, looking nervous. "Mr. Park. Miss Mensah. I need to inform you that due to your complaint, the board has launched a full investigation. Also." He handed Zara an envelope. "This arrived this morning." Zara opened it with shaking hands. "I've been selected for the Korean national robotics team. They want me to represent Korea in Geneva." Minji screamed. Jae-won picked Zara up and spun her around, both of them laughing. "See," he said, setting her down gently. "You're exactly where you belong. And anyone who can't see that is blind." Mrs. Park appeared at the entrance to the courtyard. Her expression when she saw them together was glacial. But Jae-won didn't let go of Zara's hand. Instead, he held it tighter. "Mother. We need to talk." "Indeed we do." Her voice could have frozen fire. "I'm dating Zara." "That's not a negotiation. It's a fact." His voice was calm but firm. "You can accept it, or you can keep fighting it. But you won't win. Not this time. You're throwing away your future for..." "I'm choosing my future." "There's a difference." He looked down at Zara, and his expression softened. "And my future is standing right here." Mrs. Park's lips thinned. For a long moment, she was silent. Then, "This isn't over." "No," Jae-won agreed. "It's just beginning." As his mother stalked away, Zara squeezed his hand. "Are you sure about this?" "Really sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything in my life." He kissed her forehead. "You and me against the world. What do you say?" Zara smiled. For the first time since arriving at Hanseong Academy, she felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. "I say, let's show them what we're made of." If this love story gave you all the feels, absolutely smash that subscribe button for more romance that'll make your heart race. Drop a comment telling me, are you Team Jae-won and Zara? And destroy that like button if you believe love can break down any barrier. Share this with someone who needs to believe in impossible love stories. Because sometimes the kiss that changes everything is the one you never saw coming. Sometimes the person everyone says is wrong for you is exactly right. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is choose love over rules. Thanks for watching. See you in the next story. And remember, some things are worth fighting for.